Welcome. In front of me is a Realme 9, and today I'll show you a couple tweaks and tricks you can do on this phone. So to get started, I'm going to begin with the personalized section in the settings, which if we navigate to the settings and select personalization, you can see we have a bunch of options right here. So we have simple ones like, for instance, wallpapers and always on display. Then we have things like icon packs, quick settings, colors, fonts, and so on. So you can change each one and customize the device to fit whatever you want it to look like. Probably one of the more interesting ones would be things like colors. So you can customize basically each kind of color of different areas, which I just went back. Let me go back here. So we have a couple of pre-made ones, as you can see. You can tap on them and it shows you what buttons are changed. So as an example, right now, if I stick with this one, for instance, the notifications will be blue, as you can see. Here we have still, I guess, blue. So there we go. So now that would be orange, and there we go. And you can see that other things, this one is fairly uniform with similar colors all around. But as you see in this one had random colors all around. So notifications was blue. Other buttons were, for instance, green. Text messages had like yellowish color. You had dark blue for accepting, and so on. Now, obviously, you can create your own if you want to. So you can customize and select each one if you want to. We can also select it so that the wallpaper will define these colors. So if you change the wallpaper and it has, for instance, like as an example, a lot of reddish colors and stuff like that, then the colors of different buttons will apply that more reddish color to basically all these kind of toggles all around. It's I guess a lazy way and easier to have your device customized to what you already picked, as an example, wallpaper in this case. And then if we go back, obviously we have other options like fonts if you want to change those. Fingerprint animation, if you use that, you can set it up. I don't have a fingerprint setup, so I would first need to actually go through the setup of that to even showcase this. We also have edge lighting. This is kind of useless in my opinion, so I wouldn't really go into it. And then probably another good interesting option is the quick settings. So here you can set up the shape of these buttons right here. So by default they are round, as obviously you can see, but if you want, you can make them square, square circle, even more of a circlish shape, and so on. Now there's fairly limited amount of them. As you can see, you have only 6 of them to choose from, but still, if you want to just change it, you have the option right here. Now anyway, let's move out of here and go to the next option, which is under the home screen and lock screen. And this will allow you to customize your home screen. At least that's what I'm going to be showcasing here, but obviously you can also set up some options for lock screen. So number one, we have home screen mode. This will allow you to choose between up drawer and the default Android look, or up drawer would be the default Android. So we have the iOS kind of style and the Android kind of style. Android being with all the apps being neatly organized in your app drawer, while the iOS kind of style is the one where you have all apps smack in the middle of your home screen. And they're basically organized by whichever app you installed first. So you can choose whichever one you want. I have right now the app drawer, which is what I would consider the typical Android experience, and then we have the standard mode, which is what I was referring to as the iOS experience. So you can choose one. I do prefer this one, so that's what I'm going to be sticking with, but you can change it if you want to. Additionally, you have things like home screen layout. So this is the grid on the home screen, which will define how many apps can be fitted on the home screen. Now, it looks like by default, it already is set to the highest one, which is what I would be going for. But obviously, if you want to have more like bigger icons with higher spaces between them, you can go for a different one, as you can see, for instance, 3x5, which will give the only like 3 apps in a line, and you will have 5 rows. So straight from the top to the bottom will be only 5 apps. So this might be a nice thing to have if you plan to have like a really clean, minimal looking home screen. This would probably fit really well. For everybody else who doesn't really bother with those, probably having more apps on your home screen might be a little bit more beneficial, but obviously the choice is yours here. Okay, now obviously you have more options right here, which you can go right ahead and check them out if you want to, mess around and see which ones will change something that you might enjoy. I'm not going to really touch upon any more of them, so it's up to you to check out more of them. As you can see, there is a decent list here. So now moving on to the next option, it's going to be again under the settings and this time around display and brightness. And here I'm going to start off with the dark mode and light mode. Now I've been using light mode for this entire time. I do think it looks a little bit better on the video recording, but obviously you have a choice between light and dark mode, and if you enable the dark mode, as you can see, everything turns dark. That will also include default applications. So if I close this and go to things like messaging apps, dialers, browsers, and so on, all those apps are affected by the actual mode that you have selected in the settings. So if you want to, you can utilize this. And we also have the option for auto switch. So if you want to use, or not use, but utilize both of them at the same time, maybe not the same time, but both of them. For instance, if you want a dark mode during the nighttime and a light mode during the daytime, which is probably like the better alternative, you can set it up to automatically switch between them. So just check this on, sunrise to sunset to sunrise, and voila, it is going to now switch between the light and dark mode based on the time. A really nice feature. And moving on to the next option, also under the display, it's the refresh rate, which is somewhere at the bottom. There we go, screen refresh rate. We have three options. So we have auto select, high, or standard. Now, honestly, I don't think this phone changes it to anything lower between, or actually might be. So I think on here it drops to 60. I don't think it drops anywhere lower than 60. So when the device or display is not doing anything, like right now, it would drop to 60. When you start scrolling up and down, it will then jump up to 120. Or not 120, my bad, to 90 as it is right here. So now going into the options right here, because auto select will probably be good for majority of you, but there is some people that might prefer to have standard, which will save you a little bit more battery. So if you don't care about the high refresh rate, change it to 60 and you will have a little bit increased battery life. And for people that just want to have smoothness all around, no matter what, then you can change it to high and have it locked to 90 all the time. Though, like I said, the auto select might seem like a better alternative, just because when the display is displaying static image like right now, the device should change to 60 to not consume as much battery. So you'd only use 90 whenever you actually need to. So yeah, choose whichever one you want. Obviously, like I said, for battery saving purposes, 60 or the standard option will be a best option right here. And now moving on to the last option, it's the side panel, which is barely visible. It's this thing right over here, this like grayish thing. You can pull it out. As you can see, it has a couple toggles right here. So a couple applications visible right here, like calculator, photos, Chrome. Then we can access my photos. Oh, not my photos, my files, my bad. Then we have some screen translate and screenshot and screen recording options. So those are the default ones that come with the panel. You can also go into the settings and customize it. So the settings for this panel is located under the special features right here and flexible windows. So see, we can pull out some, it gives us a quick guide on basically how we can use this. As you can see, tutorials, you can click on them, I believe, to actually get a tutorial. Yep. So it just shows you, I guess, a animation right here. So you pull out, click on something, hold it, and it opens up as a pop-up window. And it actually looks like we can change this. Yeah, no, apparently not. I kind of want to test it out. Let me try it with something else, maybe. Ah, there we go. So there we go. As you can see, we can change it into a smaller application. I can resize it as you just seen me do. And obviously this application window right here is fully interactable, so you can do everything on it. You can move it around, though I'm not connected to network, so just close it. I'm going back to here. So I got it. We can open with a swipe. So when you get a notification, you can pull it down and it will open up in this window kind of pop up. We can obviously utilize this kind of thing. Just press it. Oh, I just press it, so I can open it up from the list right here. Obviously you can edit the list right here, though not exactly sure how yet. Needs to be a way to edit it, unless it's, oh, there we go. So you swipe up and it gives you the edit option. So here you can now add your own applications, obviously that you installed, or tools. By default it shows you tools, but you can tap right here and it will show you the apps. So you could add additional apps in here. Click on done, and as you can see, this app is now accessible right here. Obviously you can also remove toggles from here if you want to. So yeah, neat little option right here that you can access at any point in time in any kind of application, giving you a little bit more flexibility of what you're doing. Personally, I do use this kind of feature a lot. So whenever I'm, for instance, searching for something and I need to calculate something, as an example, I would just whip out a calculator, which is actually added neatly in here. Additionally, it's also nice to add things like, for instance, emails or other messaging applications. And if you need to verify something, basically stay in the application, pull out your messaging or email, copy whatever you need to, and then instantly paste it without needing to like switch between the apps. So it's a fairly neat thing to utilize at times. Anyway, this would conclude the tweaks and tricks, if we can call it that. And if you found this video helpful, informative anyway, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.